Hey everybody, John Skiba here from the Consumer Warrior YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what happens to business credit cards if you end up filing for a personal bankruptcy. But if this is your first time here in my YouTube channel, please go ahead, click subscribe, check on that little bell. That way you'll be notified each and every week when I put out new videos to help you deal with serious debt problems. All right, a common thing I hear in my law practice here in the state of Arizona, I help people with bankruptcies, debt collection lawsuits, and often I'll have people come in who are self-employed. They've been running their own business, and they want to know what happens to those business credit cards that they've taken out while they're, when they're running the business, if they end up having to file for personal bankruptcy. It's a good question because it can be a little bit unclear as far as what's personal and what's business. Now, when you look at the credit card, it'll often say your name, say like John Skiba, Jackson White Law Firm, which is where I work. It's you're thinking, okay, this is a business card. I can tell you though, in nearly 20 years of helping people file for bankruptcy, I don't think I've ever seen a true business credit card. Usually what it is, they're actually personal cards that they just put the business name on, and they fall under a different type of lending structure where they're willing to give you a larger available balance because they know it's being used for the business. But when push comes to shove, it's usually you who's on the hook. It's that they want an actual person that they can try to collect to. And this is especially true of small businesses. Now, I'm sure there are, the great big companies out there, big corporations that have, hundreds and thousands of employees. They may have different types of scenarios. But most people that are filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy and have a small business, those business credit cards are going to be considered personal. And so how that impacts your bankruptcy is if you file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which really the whole purpose of that is to eliminate unsecured debts like credit card debt. It'll eliminate the debt that's owed on your business credit card. Now, in the event that it actually is somehow set up as a business, what I do see is that there's a personal guarantee on it. So even if it's truly set up under the business name, the business tax ID number, all that kind of stuff, if you default on it, there's usually a personal guarantee provision that makes the debt personal in the end anyway. And that's why if you are filing for bankruptcy, I always say we need to include the business credit cards because, truth be known, you have a lot of personal exposure there on those particular cards. Now, one thing to be aware of is if you have a business, again, you're self-employed, and you do file on those personal cards, you do really want to check and have your attorney look and see how these credit cards were set up. Because if it did get set up under the business as well, and it's not just a personal card, and it's not just using the business name, but it's a true corporate type card, the business may have some liability. And so if it continues to operate, you may find yourself in a situation where your personal liability has been eliminated through the bankruptcy process, but they're still trying to collect against the corporation. And I've even seen it where even when it's just a truly personal card, the debt goes away in the bankruptcy, they still try to masquerade a bit like they're trying just to come after the corporation. You'd really need to have a clear understanding of who has liability, look at the terms and conditions, look at the application process of how you actually set that up to determine what that type of liability is. So I hope that helps. If you're finding yourself, you're self-employed and you're thinking you may need to file a bankruptcy and you're in the state of Arizona, my contact information is below. I do a free consultation. We can go over whether it's a good option, and we'll go through this analysis that I just did here of whether the debts are actually personal or business and how that impacts you in the long run. Thanks for watching today.